What is good, YouTube? My name is Velikan. In this video, we are taking a look at my personal routes. This video is just going to be me rambling and clicking through a few websites, mainly this sheet created by Gecko and I think Doubleshine, through the wiki, and we're taking a look at the Combat Mastery page. So it's just going to be me clicking through some websites, and that's about it. There's not going to be some hidden strat or anything, but maybe if you are wondering what I'm going to do after all that tier crafting, then you should stick around. So um, the first thing that I did when this came out is I took a look at what kind of attack style I was going to be using, right? I think most people did. So Mage kind of fell off immediately for two reasons. The first reason is without a Tumakin, the DPS between the Tumakin and not a Tumakin basically, so the second best weapon is just too big. I think the DPS difference is like 50% or some shit like that. Unless you're surging with Devil's Element on weak enemies, but still, you kind of need a Tumakin. I still believe that. So I went dry on a Tumakin last year. Last year, I was trying to learn Chambers using ranged, and I was trying to run the Mage Hand with a magic weapon, but I did not have a powered staff. And the only powered staff available to me was a Tumakin. What happened is because I didn't have one, I had a one-tick autocast delay, which Jagex has removed by now, but I couldn't be running the Mage Hand properly. So I went to Toa. I was using, as a ranger, mind you, barraging Akka, barraging Wardens, P2. I had a horrible time there. And I did like maybe 30, 40 KC. I can't even remember how many I did. Not that many. And I kept getting light bears. I kept getting white lights. It was horrible. I had a horrible time in Toa. And then I just quit. I just quit playing. I kind of thought I was maybe going to get Dragon Cup last year, but I just didn't. I just had a horrible time. I did load up some bonds and some alts, but I was getting burned out because I was redoing the easy and medium tasks, you know, trying to rush through everything, trying to fix whatever I was doing. But also because I wasn't playing on my main, I kind of felt like I was, you know, wasting my time anyway. So I kind of burned out. I crashed and I burned in Leagues 4. So with Leagues 5, I kind of intend of getting a Dragon Cup. For some people, getting a Dragon Cup isn't that big of an achievement. For me personally, it's kind of like a gripe that I still have with leagues. So I intend on setting that right this year. So D Cup is my primary goal. Of course, I'm going to try and have fun, but Dragon Cup is where my head is at. So I'm okay with grinding, perhaps a lot more than I was okay with it in Leagues 4. And then because Mage is not a thing, also the second reason, by the way, Mage is not a thing for me is because of the tier 3 passive. So you gain only a 100% increased accuracy. So without a Tumakin, I think Mage is not that strong. Last year you had 175 increased accuracy, so I don't know. I'm not liking Mage at all. Then basically you have ranged and melee. So ranged is probably the strongest and the easiest. So it's for Dragon Cuppers, I think it's by far the best. Let's say you're going as Garnia, you have to kill the Whisperer, you can just range her. Meleeers have an issue there, rangers don't. So I'm kind of liking ranged, but I went ranged last year. I remember what it's like running around with a rune crossbow. Of course, there are better weapons than just an RCB, but still, I don't know. Ranged is like, it's cool, but it's kind of lame at the same time. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm just totally in love with the additional hit generation that melees have. It reminds me of Wind Fury weapon from World of Warcraft. I do know it's quite heavy on the RNG, but still, I think it's pretty cool. A 20% chance to like do some echo hits. I think I just like that, just flat out. I realize I'm not going to hit the 8 times in a row thing, probably, but still. So tier 6 mage, tier 6 melee is what I'm looking at, and then probably tier 4 ranged, or maybe even tier 3 if I can't beat the Inferno with my melee setup. Another reason for me to go melee is because most of the echo equipment favors melee, or at least it's cool for melee. So the Dog Sword is cool for melee, the Kopesh is cool for melee, the Sunlight Spear is cool for melee, even the Reprisal is cool for melee. The Devil's Element is kind of whack, in my opinion. The Amulet and the Ring are kind of whack. They're just stat sticks. They're not bad, don't get me wrong. And I am going Fremennik most likely. But they're just stat sticks, so they don't really like open up a really cool way to play or anything. Gloves of the Damned have some interesting use cases, but still. And then, of course, the Drygore Blowpipe is probably best for non-ragers. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad at all for rangers, so it's still really good, but it doesn't really seem like, oh, this is a cool new weapon that opens up a crazy new playstyle. It just doesn't. It's just a blowpipe, and it's basically the same as main handing darts or knives anyway. So I'm not really getting hype over the Drygore. So the problem that I'm now having is because I'm eyeballing the dog sword and eyeballing the Kopesh, I need to put myself in as Garnia Wildy. And as Garnia Wildy immediately means total recall and specialist for me. And I'm okay with that, don't get me wrong. But the problem I'm having is Asgarnia is a burnout sim. Let me show you. Let's go to tasks. Let's click anything, everything I mean, but Asgarnia. I know this is not the best way to value areas, but if I take a look at these 400 and 200 tasks, it's like full Torva, every God Sword, all CAs, which I'm probably not going to be able to do. Killing a boss 500 times is probably not a problem. Awakened Whisper as a melee, yikes. Whisper 300 times, no thank you. Armadillo, kind of whack, to be honest, if you're melee. Golden Prospector, where is it? Graceful. I'm just not happy with these tasks. I think they are basically burnout sim. I don't like pest control either. So as Garnia, I don't know, bro. I don't want to go there, to be honest. Even though the dog sword is kind of cool, I just don't want to go there. Then the Kopesh is another thing. I hate the wilderness. I hate PvP in RuneScape. I like PvP in most games, but in RuneScape, I think it sucks. No offense to Jagex, but I don't know, bro. You need to figure something out because I don't like it. So PvP in RuneScape kind of whack. I know you don't lose your stuff in the wilderness, but still, if I'm gonna get sent to Lumbee, I don't know. I'm just gonna be kind of salty about it, even though I shouldn't be. Like I used to play World of Warcraft. I can view this as some sort of world PvP thing where I can just head in, try to bonk people, try to have fun. And it's probably fun too, but at the same time, at some point, because I'm trying to Dragon Cup, I'm gonna have to do the tasks. And if I take a look at the tasks, almost all of the tasks are about killing the wildy bosses, Callisto, Corp, Vedian, Vedanadis, getting all of their equipment pieces. And none of these bosses, except for Corp and I guess Echo KBD and KBD itself, are instanced. So if people love the PvP, and I think this will wane, Leagues is 8 weeks. After a few weeks, the wilderness is probably going to be dead. But I think this might be a problem where I'm trying to like kill Vedanadis 300 times. Some people are going to get gonna get a little bit raunchy with me and just like smack me across the head. They're gonna kill me. Obviously I can fight back, but still, I'm not looking to PvP, like not at all. I just want to get my tasks done. So I am not that afraid of the wilderness, but I do recognize, and this is my key takeaway here, if I just take the wilderness for just the Kopesh, that might be a little bit of a misplay. But the problem now is I am basically looking for new cool weapons. I've got like 7,000 hours in the main game. I've seen most weapons. I want to see these new cool weapons, and I am depriving myself of them by not going as Garnia and not going Wilderness, right? So the only thing that really jumps out then is the Sunlight Spear, and I guess the Reprisal. The Sunlight Spear is quite strong, but it does require Amulet of the Monarchs and the Emperor Ring, I'm going to argue. And the reason why I say this is because if I calc the Sunlight Spear without the Amulet and without the Emperor Ring, what's going to happen? It's going to be like a 20% DPS difference. And I think 20% is just simply too much. I don't dislike Fremennik that much. So Fremennik is fine. The only thing I don't like about Fremennik is having to deal with the Echo Dagonoth Kings. I'm afraid this boss fight, the Echo Kings, are kind of going to suck. I don't know that, but that's what I think. So the Sunlight Spear kind of gets opened up with the Amulet of the Monarchs. The best thing to do if I was to go all in a Sunlight Spear was to go Tyranwin. Tyranwin gives, of course, the Crystal Blessing, which is best in slot for both non-specking with the Sunlight Spear and specking. It's even better than the Sunfire Fanatic armor. So that's kind of a shame. But I think with Fremennik, I'm going to be okay running around with a Nezi helmet, then the Sunfire chest and legs, and then just a Sunlight Spear. And the reason why I am not going Tyranwin is because I can go Kurend, and then I have the Reprisal available, which will definitely help me in Inferno, probably. It will also save chambers probably for me, mostly. But also, it's gonna potentially give me a scythe, and with Varlamore, I feel like I have a pretty decent progression path. So without Fremennik, I would have said Ultor, but with Fremennik, you have the best in slot melee, necklace, and ring. You have the Blood Moon gear, you have the Nezi helmet, you have the dual Makihedals with the Blood Moon, which is pretty damn cool. It's a one-tick weapon too, that way, sometimes, so that's pretty cool. You have the Soul Reaper axe, you have the Scythe through Kurend. So I think there's a very decent weapon progression path that's not only good for progression, but it also gives me something to do. I am very comfortable grinding out for Dorfis with, let's say, a Scythe, or even a Soul Reaper, or even a Whip, to be honest. It should be fine. Fordorfus is probably my strongest boss anyway. So taking a look, and this is another thing, taking a look at Varlamore, a lot of points are behind the Colosseum. And I think I can take on Awakened Vardorfus in the leagues. The Colosseum, I think, is doable. I haven't killed Soul in the main game, but I think I can do it. I can comfortably get up to like wave 9 or 10. But sometimes I get screwed over by double spawns. If you know the Colosseum, you know what I'm talking about. I think Last Stand is just going to fix that. So I'm picking Last Stand specifically for Colosseum and the Soul fight, and I think I can beat Soul with it. Soul is just I don't think Soul is that difficult, but I haven't really gotten to him that much. I think the waves are more difficult than Soul itself. And then the waves, the main problem there is not the solves, but the double spawn for me in the main game. So that's why I don't have a KC, not yet. I was learning it before leagues, but I quit the main game like a couple of weeks ago when the announcements for the Raging Echo leagues were coming up, because I was just all in making YouTube videos about them. So that's where my head is at right now. Last Stand Varlamore. I need Fremennik to open up the Sun Spear. I am willing to sacrifice some DPS by not going Tyranwin that way, and I think that's perfectly fine. And then Kurend is probably the play. I'm picking Kurend last because I can still pivot into Wilderness. I can still pivot into Tyranwin. And the reason why I am okay with Tyranwin and the Wilderness pivot last is because I'm going to pick dodgy deals no matter what. The only reason for me not to go dodgy deals is if I were to go Desert. But I really can't be asked going Desert. So I'm just locking in dodgy deals as my tier 2. And then I still have my area 3 open. So I can do Wilderness, Kurend, or Tyranwin. It doesn't really matter. And I'm just going all in the Sun Spear. If I don't get the Sun Spear, I still have Soul Reaper, Scythe, whatever, you know? So it should be fine. Then taking a look at the relics a little bit, we have Animal Wrangler, probably. I would consider Power Miner, but Fremennik kind of solves smithing, and I think Power Miner is mostly nice for smithing anyway. So if I were to go Desert or Fremennik, I would not have picked Power Miner. If I did not have these areas, I would have considered it. Animal Wrangler is fine. I'm not afraid of Lumberjack. I'm just going to AFK Woodcut a little bit, and that should be okay. Then Dodgy Deals is a thing, of course. I think it's very nice. I do like Friendly Forager, and I think I'm going to reload into Friendly Forager. So I'm hard locked into Clue Compass and Treasure Arbiter, so I don't even need to talk about that. I think they're just best for points. End of story. Then reloading into Friendly Forager might be a thing, but I also might go Overgrown because I do have a lot of patches, like herb patches and allotment patches, and I also have the Farming Guild. So Overgrown is probably good, and it solves Herblore as well, I think. Then I can pivot out of Friendly Forager and maybe take either Corner Cutter, which solves agility, or maybe even Golden God. Golden God solves a couple of things. Prayer is not that big of a deal. Construction is okay, but with Golden God, basically everything gets solved, right? So this is also a thing I might do. Golden God or Friendly Forager, either one. Corner Cutter is still a thing. If I don't pick Corner Cutter, this spreadsheet is telling me that agility is solved. If I take a look at the ranking sheet, I think it tells me it is solved because of Worm Agility, which is something I don't agree with. Worm Agility, I finished it, I've greenlogged it in the main game. It's not that fast, so I don't want to call this solved. And I do know, I think they apply a different definition of solved. For me, not going Corner Cutter doesn't mean agility is solved. But the problem with me is I feel like I've been taken hostage by agility, the skill I mean, and I've developed some sort of Stockholm syndrome. I kind of like agility, actually. So for me, I'm lucky that I like agility. So I don't really feel the need to go corner cutter. So friendly forager or golden god. Friendly forager, if I do that, then herblore is fixed. Tithe farm already fixes farming. So maybe I can pivot out of overgrown and maybe into grimoire, right? Or maybe even into pocket kingdom actually, because pocket kingdom kind of helps construction a little bit, but I don't think I need it. Grimoire opens up piety, and piety actually helps a little bit because if I don't go Tyranwin, then and I do go Tyranwin. Sorry, if I don't go Tyranwin and I do go Grimoire, piety kind of cushions the blow of not picking crystal armor, right? So piety is actually quite decent here, and I don't need the other two. Farming is fixed through Tide Farm. Herblore would be fixed through Forager. And yes, I don't have Golden God that way, but I do intend on playing a long time, so I don't really feel like I need that much GP. So I think this might be the play. Dodgy deals, reloading into Forager, into Grimoire. I'm definitely picking Banker's Note with my regions. There is no reason to pick Total Recall. And then Last Stand, primarily for Colosseum. Maybe it helps with the Echo bosses too. I'm thinking Dagonoth King's Echoes might be a little bit annoying. So that's that. Kurend also gives the reprisal, which is why I am probably going Kurend, because first of all, it's a new weapon, which is cool, but it also helps with Inferno. If I don't go Kurend, let's say I go Wilderness, then I am looking at maybe my best weapon for Inferno being a Web Weaver, and I talked about this in one of my videos, and probably the Eclipse Moon set armor, right? So if I do this, Farnham or Fremnik Wilderness, I'm looking at a Web Weaver Inferno clear, which is something I am not comfortable with. So Kurend probably helps. I'm not picking Kurend just for Inferno, by the way. Don't get that twisted. There's a good chance I might not even complete Inferno. I might just not be skilled enough to do it. But maybe I am. I don't know. I just have to get in and see what happens. With Banker's Note, of course, what I do know about Inferno is that it helps me with, or it's an endurance race. So Banker's Note will help me with the endurance, right? I know Zuck is like difficult and whatever, but at the same time, he's not impossible. And also, Kurend opens up the T-bow. So you're going to have a T-bow, which is going to be only one tick faster than the main game, but it's going to be fine. I'm pretty sure. No, I won't be blasting through the Inferno in 20 minutes, but at the same time, it should be okay. And it might help me learn the Inferno, actually. I haven't done the Inferno in the main game at all. So I'm kind of happy with Varlamore, Fremennik, Kurend. I am definitely leaning into these three areas. And even though I doubted myself and I changed my route like 1,500 times, I'm not even joking. Like, I've been going in circles and circles and circles. I was up until 6 a.m. last night between making videos and just clicking all the area unlocks, you know, and going over in the wiki, just trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? But Varlamore, Fremennik, and then Kurend. And Kurend is potentially a pivot for Wilderness or Tyranwin. If I do pivot away from Kurend into Tyranwin or Wilderness, I am probably picking Overgrown and I'm leaving Grimoire out of the equation, right? And then if I go Overgrown, I might steer away from Forager. Maybe into Golden God, maybe into Corner Cutter. It kind of depends. Maybe Wilderness Agility fixes agility a little bit more, so I don't need Corner Cutter then. But that's basically where my head is at right now. So this is my route. Um, yeah, I don't really know how to send off this video. I have definitely been wanting to thank you guys. I'm not going to pull up YouTube, but basically I've been getting multiple tens of thousands of views on my videos. It's something I did not expect. Last year with Leagues 4, I got a couple of thousand of views, which was nice. It was pretty cool. This year, the reception has been overwhelmingly positive. I've enjoyed it a lot. It has been time consuming, but because I've got such a great reception on my videos, it kind of helped me pushing through like the fact that it did take a lot of time to make them all. Um, Between work and my private life, I haven't had that much time, like 2 hours every day. One video usually takes like upwards of like 4 to 5 hours to make because I am spending a lot of time scouring through a lot of resources like Discord primarily, trying to figure out all pieces and bits of information and then trying to figure out what my opinion is and everything. And then, of course, I still have to make the video. I still have to record it. I tend to do things in one go, as you probably already have noticed. And then if I mess up once, I have to redo the entire thing. I'm also not that good at keeping things short and concise, as you already have noticed. So what happens then is after like 25 minutes, I mess up once, I have to redo the video. So yeah, it's not the best approach. I think if I'm going to be back next year, I am going to figure out a way where I get to edit my videos and maybe keep things a little bit shorter. That's going to take much more time though, which is something I'm not really happy to deal with, because I feel like I just want to get information out. I don't care about presentation or form or whatever. I don't have flashy intros. I don't care like that about that at all. I also don't really care how many people are watching, although it definitely has helped. The positive reception has been great. But I just want to get out, I get the information out. That's what I want to do. I want to throw it into the world, and I'm very happy that the Leagues Discord has picked up on these videos, because if I'm wrong, then we all benefit. Specifically me, because I like theory crafting. If I'm wrong about something or someone says something that I had not considered, then my information gets better and my theory crafting gets better, and that's also why I'm doing it. So it's been very nice. Right now I'm sitting at 950 subs. It would be really cool to reach 1,000. It's like this one milestone. But there's one thing, and this is the last thing, and this is how I'm going to send off this video. I don't really know what to do. I don't think I'm going to be live streaming. There's no point. There's going to be excellent content creators online live streaming leagues, and I don't really want to compete with them. At the same time, if I were to be able to get like a little bit of a viewership, and if I would be able to live stream to them every day, that would be like a dream come true. So maybe I should give that a go. But I'm not really comfortable with competing with the likes of, Bodhi and Sick Nerd and whatever. But at the same time, like Double Shine, and I think Jack, his name is. I don't know if he's going to be streaming actually, but like these guys, much better than me, and I don't feel the desire to compete with anyone. I have this small niche where I put in like a lot of time, a lot of effort into very detailed deep dives. I feel like none other content creator is really doing that, and that's just my thing. And live streaming, like I'm not much of an entertainer, I'm not much of a performer, so it's kind of out of the question right now. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should just go for it. Who knows? Throughout the leagues, this is something I am going to do. Probably I'm going to upload some videos of me hopefully achieving Dragon Cup. The reason why I want to do that is because I am hell-bent on getting it. So I think if I start uploading videos, I'm kind of locking myself in. I'm anchoring myself through YouTube, and I have to get the Dragon Cup that way. Not that big of a deal for most people, but maybe I can show you guys what the Sun Spear looks like in case you have not been going there yourself. So that might be cool. And after leagues, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna stay dormant until League 6. Who knows? The problem I'm having is like I feel like most of the niches for RuneScape videos are filled by other content creators. I like the teaching aspect of things, but there's of course the video game bot guy, which is an excellent teaching channel. I don't feel the desire to compete with him at all. So I'm not really sure if I could find my niche. Maybe I should just grind some stuff and like do a Mr. No Sleep thing where I just like kill 1,000 things, a boss 1,000 times. I mean, I don't know. I simply don't know. I do think it's kind of a shame just letting this like bleed out again. You guys have blessed me with a lot of sub count. That's something not everyone can say. I watched I was on Reddit for a very short time, and I watched some people like congratulating each other with like 10 subs. My next milestone is going to be 50 subs. I don't want to diss these people, but like I've been blessed, like getting 1,000 subs almost over the course of like a few weeks just through leagues has been insane. So I'm thinking I should be utilizing that a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to make money, okay? I'm not going to be clickbaiting, making a boatload of videos, spamming your feed and, a lot of shorts and whatever. That's just not my style. But I'm kind of up in the air, not knowing what to do from here on out. So if you have any opinion about that or about my route or maybe about my relics, feel free to let me know. This video has been going on long enough already. I realize that it's been, the way I'm closing out this video is going to be a little bit of a anticlimactic way of doing things. Me talking about the future of my YouTube channel is probably not the best way to do things. But I'm just going to press stop recording because I have no idea how to send you guys off. So thank you for watching, and maybe see you next video actually. So bye bye.